In this tutorial, we will cover how to create a report. A report is a collection of outputs from different nodes in a project. This is a good way to collect important visual representations of data or analysis in one place. This can also be used to show the outputs to other collaborators or to export your analysis. To create a report, the first thing that we need to do is to move over to the Report tab. This can be found at the top of the page. If there are no reports in this project, you will see this screen. We only need to click on the link to create a new report. Once we have created a new report, the first thing we need to do is to name the report. Every report requires a name to be saved. Next, we can add a category if we plan to have multiple reports in the future, or to add a description. Now we can add visualizations or analysis to our report. We can either search for a workflow using the search bar at the top on the left-hand side pane, or we can click on one of the workflows that are shown below. Once you click on a workflow, it'll show the nodes that have produced an output from that workflow. Now we can select the visualizations which we want to show. To move a visualization over to the workflow, we need to click, hold, and drag over to the workflow, to the report. We can now also change the order of the nodes. If we want to add visualizations from another workflow, the only thing we need to do is to follow the same process, but to click on a different workflow in the left-hand side pane. The output from these workflows will be saved and then added to the report every time the workflow is executed. So these visualizations will only contain the graphs or other charts from the latest execution. Now we can save this this report. Once we have saved the report, we are seeing the viewing page. This shows how a different user would see our report. Just like in the execution page, we can also expand a graph, or we can scroll down on each graph if it's similar to a subplot in that it's too large to fit the window. In the controls on the top right, the first is that we can export. We can either export to a PDF or we can export each graph individually. Next, we can also change the grid size. If certain visualizations do not fit a particular aspect ratio, it might be important to change the grid size to improve the usability of your report. Thank you for listening.